When a man thinks he's too smart to ever face consequences, sometimes you have to become the consequence. I never thought I'd be the type of person to go after someone with this much determination. But some people make it impossible and just let things go. This started with my dad. He's a retired construction foreman, 72 years old, and one of the most honest, hard-working people I've ever known. He's also too trusting for his own good, something a certain snake, a man named Victor Hayes, figured out very quickly. Victor was slick, the kind of guy who wore $1,000 suits, had perfect hair, and drove a brand new Audi. He showed up at my dad's church one Sunday, claiming he was looking to invest in small local projects to give back to the community. He targeted older members, made them feel like they were part of something big, and dropped enough buzzwords about equity, return on capital, and philanthropy to sound legitimate. Within a few months, he'd convinced my dad to invest $50,000 into what he claimed was a low-risk property development deal. Dad thought it would be a nice way to grow some savings for me and my sister after he was gone. You can guess what happened next. 3 months later, Victor vanished. Phone disconnected. Office empty. The project never existed. My dad was devastated, not just for the money, but because he felt humiliated. This man had looked him in the eye, shook his hand, and promised he could be trusted. We went to the police, but they basically shrugged. It's a civil matter, they said. Translation, we're not doing a damn thing. We tried hiring a lawyer, but tracking Victor down was like chasing smoke. For a while, I just simmered in quiet rage. But then one night, sitting at my desk at 2 a.m., something in me snapped. If the law wouldn't do anything, I would. I started digging. Step 1, finding Victor. Victor wasn't as invisible as he thought. He had changed his phone number, yes, but people like him need to be seen. They thrive on reputation, on looking successful. I found a photo of him on a local Business Leaders of Tomorrow article from 2 years ago. That gave me his middle name. From there, I started pulling records, old addresses, shell companies, even a divorce filing that mentioned a boat he supposedly owned. Eventually, I struck gold. A recent tag photo on Instagram from some yacht party in Miami. Victor was right there, laughing with a drink in his hand, arm around a woman half his age. The account wasn't his, but belonged to a Miami socialite who tagged everyone. I now had a date, a location, and thanks to the yacht's visible name, a registered owner. That owner was a consulting firm in Florida with Victor listed as the CEO. Gotcha. Step 2, learning his weakness. Victor's entire image was built on credibility. He still did speaking engagements at shady wealth seminars and even had a personal website selling his investment secrets. That meant he needed to look legitimate to keep scamming people. My revenge plan had to destroy his credibility permanently. Step 3, building the trap. I registered VictorHayesFraud.com, and yes, the domain was miraculously available. Over the next 2 weeks, I built a sleek, professional-looking site. The homepage had Victor's photo, publicly available from his seminars, a timeline of his scams, complete with screenshots of shell companies he dissolved, public records of lawsuits against him, victim statements. I reached out to others I found in court filings. 3 people responded, all angry and eager to help. Copies of investment contract he gave my dad, side by side with proof the properties never existed. I was careful, no lies, just facts, documents, and photos. Everything verifiable. I even added a section with how to report Victor Hayes that linked directly to the SEC fraud complaint form. Then I started on SEO warfare. I pushed the site to rank for every variation of his name, his company names, and even his email addresses. Step 4, the strike. 2 months later, if you Google Victor Hayes, my site was the first result. His LinkedIn was buried under pages of damning information. The first sign that he knew came when I got an email from VH Legal Services demanding I take the site down immediately to avoid litigation. I wrote back one sentence. Everything on the site is public record and 100% true. See you in court. They never wrote again. Then came the real payoff. One of his former business partners, Reed, fellow scammer who got cut out a deal, emailed me to say Victor had been dropped from speaking at a major investment conference because the organizers didn't want to be associated with controversy. A week later, the woman from the yacht party posted a cryptic Instagram story about men who lie about everything and unfollowed him. And then, the cherry on top, my dad got a letter from our restitution fund in Florida. Turns out one of Victor's scams had finally gotten the attention of state investigators, and they were building a case. My site? Apparently, it had been used as part of their evidence file. Step 5, the long game. It's been 3 years. The site is still up, still first on Google, still costing me a small hosting fee every month. I've updated it whenever I find something new. Like the time he tried to start a podcast, and it tanked after 2 episodes because people kept commenting, "Is this the guy who scams old people?" Victor hasn't gone to prison yet, but every time he tries to start fresh, every time he meets someone new, every time he thinks maybe people have forgotten, they Google him. And there I am, waiting. My dad never got the full $50,000 back. But the satisfaction of knowing that Victor can't so much as buy a cup of coffee without the barista potentially knowing what he is, that's priceless. Some people think revenge is petty. I think revenge is just unpaid emotional debt, and Victor Hayes will be paying me for the rest of his life.